Okay, welcome to the 6.8 liter garage. You guys are a little bit late again. I already got started. I emptied all my, a lot of my scraps out of underneath the shelf on my welding table. And I've got this laying out here. This is a Vevor lifting magnet. So this is rated for 600 kg, which is 1,320 pounds. Which is a lot. I mean, this thing must weigh 35 pounds by itself. But the cool thing about this is it's a switchable magnet. So if I activate it, there's no way in hell I can lift it. But I don't have a crane, so why do I need a lifting magnet? I'm gonna copy one of my favorite YouTube channels, FabRats. Paul Cox on FabRats mounted one of these into his welding table, and he uses it to hold things when he's grinding and such. And obviously you wouldn't want to drill or weld onto the magnet, but hold on, we are going to weld onto the magnet. So that's the project for today. We're going to cut a hole, stick the magnet up from underneath, weld it in, and then we'll have I don't know if you've noticed watching my videos, but I have a problem saving these gloves. The hand that holds the object gets beat up, these two index fingers and stuff. And sometimes I launch the project across the room. So hopefully mounting this magnet will fix that problem. We'll get it mounted into the table. And then whenever I'm grinding something that we cut on the arc droid or whatever, we'll just be able to throw it there and the magnet will hold it and I can grind away. So that's the plan. It worked twice for Paul Cox on FabRats. So hopefully it'll work for me. Should be able to weld this. Has got a pretty hefty chunk of metal here, so it shouldn't be any problem welding it into this 1/4-inch tabletop that I've got here. So first step is to lay out my guides. I will be using a plasma cutter, but I won't be using arc droid to cut it, so it would be more trouble than it's worth when I can just put up a straight edge and hopefully. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, we've got it all laid out. Oh, you can't hear me. Okay, I traced around the magnet on the table, and I got my straight edge set up, got the plasma cutter on. This is 1/4-inch. I got, looks like 47 amps, I got 60 PSI, and I've got my drag guide on here, so hopefully I'll just be able to drag one side, set it up, drag the other side, set it up, and we'll get it cut out. Ignore my PPE, it makes it difficult to talk. Alright, got a nice rectangular hole. Hopefully it fits the magnet. Let's see if I can bring you over. Make this guy stop watching me. Let's see if I can bring you over and show you the hole. Nice clean rectangular hole. Alright, so I haven't done anything but clean up. I've got a very small garage space or shop space, so you got to clean up between operations. This is still warm but not hot. This is what was cut out. Pretty clean. I didn't clean off dross or anything. It was my inconsistent speed and everything. You would think there'd be more, but pretty clean cut. And it looks like I measured it correctly as well, because so this needs to come up from underneath, but my hope was, stop following me. So my hope was that the magnet would sit on, I don't know if you can see those. There's Allen nuts or bolts there that hold the side on, and it's actually resting on those. So my measurements were pretty darn on. I mean, there's a gap there, but I'm going to need a gap for weld. So, and I know this may seem like a bad idea. I just have to remember what this is. This is it's a lift. It's a lift magnet for a crane, so you can hook your crane cable onto this and flip the sucker on and lift something up. So what it's going to do for me is hold stuff down to the table. That's not what this is for. So if I screw it up in my welding and ruin the magnet, you know, that's my $100. Which, by the way, that's what I paid for this. I think they're on sale for $94, so with shipping and everything, it's a little over $100 for this magnet. And the placement of the magnet, I wanted to be able to leave the vise on without feeling like I was crowded. So we've got a vise on this end, and I'll have the mag vise on this end. And the other thing is, by the construction of this table, remember, I built this table a long time ago, and it's got a 2x2 frame, and the places I could put it and not interfere with the control that turns the magnet on and off were kind of limited. So this is probably the best spot for my situation. Anyway, so now the next step is to, I'm going to take this thing's heavy. Oh, another random thought. Since I got the plasma table set up, especially with the water table here, I am so used to being able to cut something and not walk around on the sand and gravel of the waste from the plasma cutter. It's kind of throwing me, I don't know if you can hear that. It's kind of throwing me walking on this stuff, but getting spoiled. Anyway, so the next step is to, I'm going to put the part I cut out over the hole upside down. I'm going to take this magnet, turn it on, and try to feed it into the hole, and hopefully it'll clamp onto this guy. It's going to, well, it'll clamp onto that guy, but I only know this from, it makes sense, but I only know this from watching Paul Cox do it, again, FabRats. And if he had the magnet on when he tried to weld, it didn't weld worth a damn. So that makes sense. That big permanent magnet is messing with the electromagnetic, you know, the current. And anyway, so I need to turn the magnet back off. So I will put this across the hole, get this to attach to it on, and then I'll have to put something underneath that's either, I don't know, I'll have to, maybe I can use that angle iron and my clamps again to hold it up so I can turn it off, get it tacked, and then I can take all that down and just finish weld it. But first step, we got to hang it from underneath, so we'll see how that goes. You can watch. Hopefully I don't embarrass myself or hurt myself. This thing is heavy. This would be a better project for a couple of people. Better for a guy that has friends. Friends that live in the same town, at least. Okay, so that goes underneath. I'm going to take this shackle off when I'm all done, but it's kind of a convenient handle right now. So this guy does not want to lock. There we go. Now it's stuck to the table. Table on wheels is a bad idea at this point too. Lock the wheels. See if I can pull this thing off. Probably not. That means I gotta release the magnet. Like I said, better for a guy that has friends. Okay, try this again. Closer. Let me see if I can get a hammer. Maybe that'll help. Okay. Gotta get used to you guys following me around. That went a little too far. Man, it's almost like I did it on purpose. I'm not mad about that. Stop following for a second and I'll show you. Alright. So there's my magnet in place. Next step is to get some tacks in there, but I can't do the tacks with the magnet turned on. It won't let me. So now I got to brace it from underneath. I guess I could try to tack it. Get the clamp on, fire up the welder, and let's see what happens. That's amazing. It's like turning your weld arc into fireworks. I mean, it's so believe what you see on YouTube. And note to self, if Paul Cox can't do it, I'm probably not going to do it either. He's a way better welder than myself. Alright, so back to trying to block this up. To quote Murphy's Diesel, Wreck-a Rick, stand by folks. Okay, so you missed a lot of the stupid. As you can see, I now have a floor jack holding up the magnet, and I was able to turn the magnet off. I've got it spaced here. This side is just about perfectly flush. The other side's a little bit proud. I don't know. I might try to adjust that a little bit more. Let me get the persuader. Rubber persuader. I wouldn't want to hurt the paint on this magnet. Alright, so like I said, this side's perfectly flush and this side's a little proud. So my thoughts are I'm going to tack this side with a good healthy tack, and I'm going to lower or release some pressure from the jack, and hopefully that side will come down. If not, I can always raise it up a hair. There is some holes or some gaps to fill with the weld. We'll see how I do with that, but first step is to get it tacked, so let's try tacking it. Hopefully we have less drama and more welding. So far no drama. Alright, still flush on this side. Let's see what happens when I release that a little bit. Now it's doing no pressure at all. Let's see. Hannibal time. I love it when a plan comes together. Here we go. Well, let's see if it works. Magnet still works. Release the magnet. Now all I gotta do is get her welded on. And then clean it up, see if I can flatten it a bit. But yeah, pretty happy with that. I'm gonna use a hotter weld. Let's see how I like that setting. Alright, so make my way around the wet magnet. We'll see how it turns out. Alright, well, I'm gonna let the smoke clear. I'll bring you over and show you. Remember, oops, stop. Okay. Remember, I'm not a welder. I weld, and I'm dumb enough to film it and stick it on YouTube. But that's that. The next step is gonna be do some grinding and see how flat I can make that without taking all the weld off. But that's where we're at. So I'll bring you back as soon as the air clears and I do a little grinding. Well, I'll let you watch me grind. Alright, so it's all welded. It's not beautiful, but now comes the beautification process. I get the grinder going and put on some PPE, and you guys can watch me make sparks and hide my welds so you can't be critical of my welds. You can be critical, but I don't care. Well, there you go. It ain't perfect, but it's flat. Let's see. Magnet actually picking up its iron filings, but that's no surprise. probably find some higher air pressure than my lungs make. But that's it. Maybe another day when I've got the welder out for something else, I'll fill some of these. Get this guy to stop following me for a second. And I can show you what we got. So that's it. It's pretty flush, pretty hot. Like I said, there's some ugly spots there that need to be filled. A couple there. But it does seem to do what it's supposed to do. And it's flat, flush. Over here. Got me? So let's find some metal and see what happens. Of course I took my gloves off. But if you were gonna grind this for some reason, piece of 16 gauge scrap, doesn't seem to move. Yeah, that's loud. And then if I turn that off, I don't know how many times I've launched my work object across the room, holding it with the one hand and grinding with the other. So this will solve that problem. I mean, that's the main reason I did this, is to secure items when I'm grinding them after cutting them out of the with the arc droid or whatever. But and so I saw Paul Cox do this on FabRats. I don't know, probably got to be over a year ago. And then I saw him use it the other day, and I thought, I should check into that. And went on Amazon, found the magnets, and then I went to Vevor's site directly, and they were cheaper, and they ship fast too. So the only concern is it possible to damage the magnet by welding it directly into the table like this? I'm going to say yeah, it's probably possible. Mine worked, and Paul Cox did it twice on his channel, and his worked. So the attempts that I'm aware of, that's 100% success. So if you want to try it, odds are it'll probably work, but I'm not guaranteeing your magnet. You're also risking your $100 magnet. But yeah, that's the project for today. Appreciate you coming, hanging out in the 6.8 liter garage and watching me do things. Always like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, there's merch on the store. There's links right underneath the video here, you can see. And I'll put links to FabRats website in case there's somebody in the world who's aware of my website, or aware of my channel but not aware of FabRats channel. I mean, it's possible those two groups don't cross over. But anyway, it's not hard to find FabRats, but I'll put a link to the video where he does this, and you've got mine. And yeah, if you want to try it, give it a try. It looks like it's going to be a useful, handy tool to have. And sometimes, you know, just a standard vise doesn't work real well for holding things, where I think a flat material, this is going to work out. So anyway, thanks for watching.